Hey guys, what's up? It is GVKcollectibles, and today, for Figure Review Friday, we are going to a galaxy far, far away as we take a look at the most notorious bounty hunter in the galaxy, that being Boba Fett. As I said, today we're going to be taking a look at the Boba Fett, but not just any Boba Fett. We're taking a look at the new Star Wars Black Series Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. Now, I was really kind of skeptical about this one first because I did have the Empire Strikes Back one, which we'll get into comparisons to this guy in a minute, but actually of like seeing it and getting it in hand, I was actually really glad to get this figure. So I had gotten this figure a way back when we were in Orlando last month or 2 months before. I can't remember exactly, but I got this guy at the end of our Orlando trip. I was really glad to get him and take him out of the packaging. He's a really, really good figure. I did pull him out, I did put him back in the box just so it could look really, really cool, because the Black Series packaging looks really, really good, because you get this with the Star Wars Black Series right at the bottom, of course, where he comes from, Return of the Jedi. Then you get a really cool, like, profile shot, artist shot of what Boba Fett looks like, which looks really, really cool. Then, of course, you get the back of the side of it, of the figure, and it is Star Wars, the Black Series, and you get a little read-up of Boba Fett. I'll get a close-up of that so you guys can pause it and read it real quick. And you also get that profile shot back. This is number 6 within the Return of the Jedi line, which I really love these new box designs for the Black Series. I prefer them over the red box that we had for, like, from Force Awakens, I think, till Last Jedi. It wasn't until recently they decided to, not Last Jedi, even Rise of Skywalker had the older style packaging. It isn't until recently that these figures got the newer style packaging. But as you say, Boba Fett, there's Hasbro, nothing really at the bottom, nothing really at the top, of course, you know, side to side. So with that out of the way, let's get Boba Fett out of the packaging. And here we have the most notorious bounty hunter, aka Boba Fett, out of the packaging. And I gotta say, this is, of course I've had this figure for quite a bit, some time now, and I've been able to play with it, and I can just give you my base impressions that I love this figure. It is super, super cool. I actually super have this high up, because this is a flight base from the DC movie series Armored Batman, which I did a little TikTok review on, and he came with this really cool flight base, and it works pretty dang well with Boba Fett, I have to say. It looks really, really cool. So one of the things that I note, I think this is actually a better figure than the, even though it's a newer figure comparative to the original Black Series one and even the Empire one, the 40th anniversary one, just because those two are technically just they're remakes of they're just re-releases of those figures. It is really, really cool to see this unique, see this version of Boba Fett. I really like the Return of the Jedi look of him. It looks really, really cool. Boba Fett, as you all know, has been kind of coming up in the Star Wars universe. He's has his own show coming out, which is incredible to think of, and also just he's just a really, really cool character. Mandalorian proved that. But one of the things I think is really, really cool about this figure is just the paint details and everything. So, and the amount of accessories he comes with is absolutely amazing, I think, in my opinion. It is really, really cool. So, before we jump into, like, comparisons, because we'll eventually get into comparisons to the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett design, just to do some comparisons, because that is practically the same figure as the original Black Series release, just it's a newer re-release. We're going to be, I'll take a look at some of the accessories and like what he comes with, because he comes with a lot of accessories, a lot of really, really cool accessories, I think. So, yeah, let's jump into his accessories real quick. As I did say, Boba Fett, this deluxe figure does come with a lot of accessories, which is really, really cool to see with the figure. So let's talk about the main one being the jetpack. This looks super, super awesome. It looks super good. The paint apps on it are really incredible. And let me do a little comparison here. Here we have the gaming grades Jango Fett right here, and you kind of see the different like the same kind of similar details with them and how it's painted, which looks really, really cool. I do think these are practically the same exact mold, but they are actually, I don't know, because this one actually may be completely new, because this one has adjustable little vents and everything, which is really, really cool. But once again, just wanted to show this because I thought it was a really, really cool comparison, seeing the father and the son comparison next to each other. So one of the things I think is really, really cool is his jets right here. They are completely articulated, which is like really a first for, I think, any of the jetpack like figure, like any of the Boba Fett figures, and even the Mando figure. I don't know because I remember reviewing that. I think the jets on them are completely standstill, so it's like you have to, they're not articulated at all. But this is really, really cool of how they got a hinge up and down, and they kind of swivel a little bit, which is really, really cool. I really dig that because it kind of is on a ball joint, which is really, really cool. As I said, the paint apps on this look fantastic, and also the missile does come off, which looks really, really cool. I really like that. And also the paint detailing of the missile is really, really great too, because you got this kind of like copper at the top of it. Then you got the, which I really love, because it is kind of like like it looks like the missile right here. It's like a blast kind of look to it. Like it looks like a afterburn. If you've ever seen like jets or whatever that have like an afterburn on them, it kind of looks like that. I think the paint and like the transition to like this black paint to the silver is really, really well done. I think, in my opinion, I think it looks really, really good, especially with the whole jetpack in general is really, really great. Of how all the like paint detailing and scratching really fits Boba Fett's character really great. So he also, along with the jetpack, he also comes with some 2 heat effects, which look really, really cool. These are practically identical, so I'm just going to show off the one. Looks really, really good. You get this really cool translucent look to it, where you, but there's also, it's made of a translucent plastic, but you do get like those different paint apps on there of where it's kind of like red, orange, and yellow, which look really, really cool. I really like that about this figure. It looks super, super cool. Oh, yeah. Super, super cool as I drop one. But it looks really, really cool. I love that they included these. It makes the figure, like in display wise, looks really fantastic. Also, along with, he does come with this flame effect, which has a very similar paint design to the jets, would look really, really good. I really like this flame effect. It looks super, super cool. I was really happy that they included this in the figure. I think it looks phenomenal. It looks really, really cool. And as you guys saw in the rotation of the figure, it just looks super cool. Like having all like the jetpack accessories and the flame accessories look super, super cool on this figure. I think it's really, really well done, and it looks really, really cool. So he actually also does come with this too, which is kind of a hook harpoon, which hooks onto his, I think, right gauntlet, and it's basically when after his gun is destroyed by Luke, he actually shoots this at Luke and basically ties him up, which is really, really cool. And it's really, really cool because this is like, it's easily, you can easily attach it and detach it, of course, if you don't want to display it, which is really, really cool. Really cool that they gave him this kind of option. It very much reminds me of like the old Kenner toys back in the day. When I say old Kenner toys, I mean like the re-releases, like the Power of the Force line, where you have these kind of gimmicks, and even like the Episode 2 and Episode 3 figures had those kind of gimmicks, which I really, really loved. So here we have, to finish it off, we have the E3 blaster, Boba Fett's iconic weapon. As you all know, it's a little different comparative to his the one we see in Empire Strikes Back, so I'm pretty sure they're going to eventually explain that in the comics, because right now War of the Bounty Hunters is going on right now, which is going to be kind of, I think it's their answer to Shadows of the Empire, which is going to be really, really cool. But as you see, there's a lot of really great detail with this blaster. A lot of cool, like you get, it's like there's this kind of dark, there's a brown color, but you also get a lot of black dry brushing around the blaster, make it really stand out, make it look really, really cool. I really like that. Very similar to this one, you also get, he does get a second one, which is really, really cool, but you can enact the scene, like if you have the Jedi Master Luke, the Jedi Knight Luke, you can actually recreate the scene from Return of the Jedi, which is really, really cool, where his blaster gets snapped in half by the lightsaber, which looks super, super cool. I really like that attention to detail. So, yeah, that's all the accessories, so let's jump into Boba Fett himself. And here we have the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, aka, you could say this is the original Black Series, but it's the closest thing that I got to the original Black Series. And we also have the new Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. So, you get to see there's quite a difference with each of these figures. While I think this new one is completely new mold, I can definitely feel it, just because this is, if you feel this figure, it's a harder kind of plastic. This is kind of more of a softer kind of plastic, which is really, really cool. cool, especially with the helmet and everything. Very, very unique and very different comparative to each other. Also, you get to see a big majority of different paint detailings on them too. This has a darker kind of green color to this, which is a little bit lighter, but not quite. It's still dark, but it is it's still that color that we know for Boba Fett, but it's a little lighter comparative to this one, especially with the shoulders too. As we can see, the shoulders are completely molded in here too. So I just wanted to show, and let's do this back of the side comparison here. Of course, we got the. There are a few different things, like this is a little bit of a lighter red right here, and of course right here you have a kind of a darker kind of brown look to it, which looks really, really interesting. And also the biggest difference too, this has a plastic cape, which, as I said before, I usually complain about plastic capes. I normally do not like plastic capes on figures just because I feel like it is kind of hindrance, but with this, it's okay because they took in the, like Boba Fett's cape isn't as ridiculous as, like, say, the Mando's cape, where it feels like it's very hindered by the jetpack and, like, you can't really get a lot of articulation. Of course, this guy has the cloth cape, which I really, really enjoy, but it's a little, like, out there. Like, Jesus, Fett, Boba. But also the jetpack, only a single plug, while we showed with the other one it is a dual. But also another thing too, you can kind of see, let's get the pack off, the helmet detailing is relatively different right there, as you can kind of tell, which looks really, really interesting. So yeah, I just wanted to do some, and also you can definitely tell that this is definitely a very the OG original kind of like Black Series figures of how they design the figures too, all the way down, which look different, which is really cool. So it is really cool to see the style differences with Boba Fett from going from Empire Strikes Back to Return of the Jedi. But overall thought, like, the detailing on this guy is super, super good. As I said before, a lot of this is soft, like kind of a more softer plastic as opposed to the original Boba Fett, which has a much more harder kind of plastic. Also, the pauldron right here is connected to the chest piece up here, so you actually get a large range of articulation, which is really, really cool. We'll get into articulation in a bit, but the paint apps on it look phenomenal. As I said, this one does have a lighter red color comparative to the Empire Strikes Back version. Also, how you notice like the gauntlets and everything pretty much on Boba were initially like a kind of the same color as his chest, like the same, like you see the same color throughout the whole figure pretty much. Also, you get this the kind of more Django styled bandolier on the belt, which looks really, really cool. Also, in just that general. Which I really like. Like, I think I like this this cape right here because it isn't too hindered. Like, because I think they when they were designing this figure, they kind of knew that the cape had to not necessarily be, because while I do like the cloth cape on Boba, I just think it is really gigantic on the Empire Strikes Back one, so it is really cool that we kind of get a smaller kind of cape here with this figure, which looks really, really good. Also, another thing that this one doesn't have is it does have the visor actually goes down, the rangefinder actually goes down, which is really, really cool. I really enjoy that about the figure. Yeah, like overall thoughts, I think this the paint apps on this figure are absolutely incredible. Like, it looks really like beat up. It looks, I think it's a little bit of a better jump from the Empire figure to this, just because I love the amount of paint detailing on it. It looks really, really good and really, really solid. I think it's a really, really good figure. Hasbro did a really excellent job on this figure, I think. So, those are kind of like my overall thoughts with the paint detailing of everything. Of course, you can kind of see the different paint apps and everything, comparisons to Empire to Return of the Jedi. So, with the paint detailing out of the way, let's jump into articulation. Next, Boba Fett's articulation, he can't really look up too well, but he can look down pretty well too, which is really, really good because it is kind of like the neck is connected through a ball joint right here at the bottom. Then you can get like a good range of articulation with the head, which looks really, really awesome. You can look down really far, as I said, in the paint detailing on it. As we were taking a look at the details, his rangefinder does go down, which is really, really cool. The bandolier, his shoulders are actually connected to his the chest right here, the actual chest mold. So it is actually cool because you can arm could go out that far. It is actually very interesting. While he does have the single jointed elbows, very similar to like all the Black Series figures, which I actually really enjoy the single jointed elbows for the Black Series figures, because they can get a large range of motion, which looks really, really good. There is a extra kind of joint right here of where you can get which I can't really like describe, because you can get like a good kind of swivel around here, which is really, really cool. I don't know exactly what I would assume that's kind of like a butterfly-esque joint, which is really, really cool. The gauntlets rotate around, which is really, really good. His wrists are also in a hinge, which they can rotate around as well, which look really, really good. He does have an ab crunch, which is really, there isn't really necessarily an ab crunch, but his whole upper body can move back and forth, which looks really, really good. Move side to side, because it's on a ball joint. The belt is actually relatively loose and articulated, so you can actually get a good range of motion out of the figure too, which is really, really great. His legs can kick up that forward. They can't really kick back at all, but they can move side to side. There's also the swivel. He has a thigh swivel, which is really, really good. He does have a single jointed elbow, which looks really, really good too. And his feet move up and down, and he does have a beautiful ankle pivot. So the articulation for this guy is really, really good. You can get him in pretty much all the poses you want him to get in. It is a little disappointing that he doesn't look up entirely, but at the same time, you usually don't have Boba Fett looking up a lot of the time when he's like using his jetpack, so about half the time he's usually up in the air, like looking down at people, because he has the high ground, to say the least. So it is really, really cool to have this kind of range of articulation in comparison to the original figure, which is just like, to me, this is a very much a good step and improvement for the figure. I do wish we get a kind of a 2.0 of Empire Boba Fett using this kind of body mold here, because I think it is really, really good. I also think no, they're actually the same size, so there isn't, like, I thought this figure was actually a little smaller, but they are the exact same size. So with that out of the way, let's get into some size comparisons and see what he scales with. Boba Fett compared to some other figures from different companies. Of course, we have the Death Metal, Dark Knight's Death Metal Wonder Woman from McFarlane. We have Moon Knight, the Marvel Legend Moon Knight from Hasbro as well. We also have Jerome from Wicked Cool Toys, and Scar from EVP from NECA Toys. So he is, like, once again on the smaller scale, although I think most of the Black Series fit into a relatively smaller scale. Even though they are described as 6-inch figures, they are relatively, like, compared to like the Marvel Legends, they are a little bit relatively smaller, which is very weird, but at the same time, it's not really a big deal, because I really don't have these two posed next to each other on a shelf. And he's also, like, fits relatively, like, compared to some other figures, like even some 7-inch scale figures, it's about normal scale for a Black Series figure. Boba compared to some other Black Series figures, of course, we got the Gaming Greats Jango Fett, his dad, of course. We have kind of his brother, Cody, from the Archive series. We have the Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, who he fought, Bo-Katan from The Mandalorian, and, of course, Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian himself. So, yeah, he's about normal scale for, I think, Mandalorians. It's really, really cool to see all these all the different kind of Mandalorians that we've been getting. And as I said, kind of, if you take a look at the belt that Boba has right now on this figure, it looks very, very much like Jango's belt from Attack of the Clones, which looks really, really cool, and I really, really like that. So it is really cool to have all these figures next to each other. I think they all look really, really great, and he scales pretty damn well with the Luke Skywalker. Here we have Luke battling Boba Fett, and as you can see, Boba Fett got his blaster sliced in half by a lightsaber, so it's really, really cool to have these two posed up. It looks like a fighting game. Remember that old fighting game, I think in the 90s, where you could use Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker? I can't remember the name of the game, but it just kind of reminded me of this a little bit, so I kind of wanted to do a little fighting, like if it was like a fighting game, which looks really, really cool. So overall thoughts on the Boba Fett figure, the Return of the Jedi Deluxe figure. I think it's a great figure. I think it is probably one of my favorite Boba Fett figures that has come out in recent years. Of course, there really has been only a few, a lot of them being majority of the re-release of that original mold from Empire Strikes Back. This is a completely new, brand new mold, and I do think it really benefits from the updated mold, and the updated paint apps too. I like the darker color on this guy compared to the Empire Strikes Back Boba. I also love the amount of accessories he comes with. The flame effects are really, really cool. The jetpack is really, really, like, the jetpack effects are really awesome too. Along with just the amount of accessories that comes with this guy. I think it's really, really great. And for like only like a $30 figure, you're getting quite a bit from this guy, and I really enjoy it. Is there a few things that I wish it did? I wish he could look up a little bit higher, but that's really kind of my only complaint. I really enjoy a lot of these figures. I think they look really, really good. Hasbro has been really stepping up their game in terms of just new molding and retooling, I think, for these figures, and it looks really, really great. So if you are a huge Boba Fett fan, or if you just like the Mandalorians, if you or as I said, just a big Boba Fett fan, definitely pick this guy up. I think he is such a amazing figure, and if like, don't get rid of your Empire figure, because they're completely too, like, it's cool because there's enough differences between each other of where you can justify up getting this guy. Like, because this will be your Return of the Jedi Boba, and he looks really, really good. I can't wait till we get a Mandalorian Boba too from the Mandalorian series, so I can do kind of a comparison shot with all three of them, the evolution of Boba Fett, which I think would be really, really cool. But yeah, that's it for Figure Review Friday, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you get notified when we come out Monday, What's in the Box Wednesday, Figure Review Fridays come out. Once again, also check us out on Instagram. All our links will be down below. Check me out on Facebook. I'm there as well. And also check out our Mercari shops too. We have a lot of great stuff posted up there. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully it's safe, and peace, y'all.